Welcome to SS1 Fine Art. This lesson focuses on printmaking, specifically silkscreen printing, also known as screen printing or serigraphy. Silkscreen printing is one of the most versatile and widely used printmaking techniques in the world, applied in fine art studios, fashion and textiles, signage, and commercial production. In Nigeria, screen printing is used to produce fabric for Ankara and traditional attire, to create political and cultural posters, and to produce customized t-shirts for events. Printmaking is the process of creating an image on a surface, called the matrix, and then transferring that image to paper, fabric, or another material, usually multiple times. This ability to create multiple identical images, called an edition, distinguishes printmaking from unique one-off artworks like paintings and drawings. Each print in an edition is called an impression. Prints are numbered, for example 3/25, meaning this is the third print in an edition of 25. The artist signs and numbers each print. Printmaking has a long history, originating in China with woodblock printing and reaching Europe in the 15th century. The main categories of printmaking are relief printing, where the image is raised and the recessed areas do not print, intaglio printing, where the image is incised into the surface and ink is pushed into the grooves, planographic printing, including lithography, where image and non-image areas are on the same plane, and stencil printing, which includes screen printing, where ink is pushed through areas of a screen not blocked by a stencil. Silkscreen printing uses a fine mesh screen, originally made of silk, now more commonly of polyester or nylon, stretched tightly over a frame. Areas of the screen that are not part of the design are blocked using a stencil or light-sensitive emulsion, preventing ink from passing through. Areas corresponding to the design remain open, allowing ink to pass through onto the substrate below. The process step by step works as follows. First, prepare the design. The image to be printed is created as a positive design, the areas that will print ink. Second, create the screen. A screen is coated with photosensitive emulsion. The positive design is placed on the screen and exposed to UV light. Where light hits the emulsion, it hardens. Where the design blocks the light, the emulsion washes away, leaving open mesh. Third, set up for printing. The screen is placed in a printing press or jig above the substrate, paper or fabric. Fourth, apply ink. A squeegee, a rubber blade, is used to drag ink across the screen. Ink passes through the open areas of the mesh and is deposited on the substrate in the shape of the design. Fifth, separate the screen. The screen is lifted, revealing the printed image. The substrate is dried, sometimes using a dryer or heat gun. For multicolor printing, a separate screen is created for each color, and the printing is done in sequence with careful registration to align each color correctly. Registration marks, small crosshair symbols placed outside the design area, help align each color pass accurately. Screen printing has enormous practical applications. In the fashion and textile industry, screen printing produces pattern fabrics. In Nigeria, screen printing is used to print on Adaya fabric, indigo-dyed Yoruba cloth, and to produce the colorful printed fabrics associated with Ankara fashion. Customized t-shirts for corporate events, political campaigns, school uniforms, and football clubs are screen printed in large quantities across Nigeria. Fine art print studios use screen printing to create limited edition signed prints. Poster printing for cultural events, exhibitions, concerts, and political campaigns has historically been dominated by screen printing. Screen printing ink formulations vary. Water-based inks are more environmentally friendly and work well on paper and light fabrics. Plastisol inks, plastic-based, are durable and vibrant on textiles. Discharge inks remove the fabric's dye and replace it with a new color, giving a soft hand feel. For WAEC fine art examinations, students may be required to demonstrate knowledge of the screen printing process, identify equipment, or answer questions about printmaking in Nigerian cultural contexts. Today we covered that printmaking creates multiple identical images, called an edition, using a matrix that transfers ink to a substrate. The four main printmaking categories are relief, intaglio, planographic, and stencil. Screen printing is a stencil printmaking technique using a mesh screen, photosensitive emulsion, and a squeegee to push ink through open areas onto paper or fabric. Multicolor printing requires a separate screen per color with careful registration. In Nigeria, screen printing is used in Ankara textile production, customized garments, cultural posters, and fine art editions. For your exercise, draw a simple two-color design and describe in writing the sequence of steps you would follow to print it using screen printing.